Hey, welcome back to another episode of Star Fox Adventures. We just got that moon seed in the last one. So you gotta plant them and then you gotta get like tricky to breathe fire on them. It's the only way to get them to grow. And it's the fastest growing plant you'll ever see. Last time we got the additional side quest added on that we need to go save that mysteriously disembodied voice in the Krazoa Palace. So that's something that's going to happen like literally every time we get a spell stone. It's going to be like, get a spell stone, then you got to go get a Krazoa spirit, and then you get a spell stone, then you get a Krazoa spirit. So the game's kind of formulaic that way. In that, like I was saying last time, you're not... Oh, how did that blow up? Okay, well, whatever. Can't reach it. The game's pretty formulaic in the sense that it's like... You know, you're not gonna have to work too hard to find the Krazoa spirits or anything like that. Like, everything is gonna be moving the mic really quick. I felt like it was a little far away. Maybe it was in the perfect spot, but I felt like I was having to lean in. But anyway, so it's one of those things where it's like everything is kind of like paced along the way, so you're not gonna like ever run out of like, I can't find this thing. You know what I mean? I can't find the Krazoa spirit because like it's hidden too well or something like that. No, like you're gonna end up going in that direction. Don't these respawn? I thought these things respawned. Huh. Like, you'll end up running into a lot of this stuff pretty fast and pretty easily. Alright, take care of that guy. God, I'm like not looking forward. There's one part in this game that used to be a literal run ender for me, and I think it's gonna be like after we take the ocean spellstone back. But I remember it being like one of those, like I was able to eventually do it, but it requires you to like repeatedly spam the A button, and I've never really been good at that in terms of like just using it with my thumbs. And so it was like until I figured out how to do it in a way that allowed me to actually do that part, which is, I think it's still going to be for a little bit longer. More. I don't think we're going to be going there anytime soon. I don't think I was done in that area, though. I don't think... Is this progress? It kind of feels like it's progress, but then it kind of feels like it's not. It's weird. But,
What the? Look out!
oh, God, that was completely unexpected. Oh, yeah, I think this is progress. I don't think I want to go this way yet, but there is some stuff around here, right? Something about this, right? Alright, we gotta do this. But I think there's some more stuff back there that I forgot to look around for. Those are basically like the dongos. But yeah, like, so I've never really been super great about, you know, spamming the A button using my thumbs. You know, the press the button repeatedly crap. Like, I've never been good at that. It was literally a situation where once I figured out how to do it the way I always do it now, then I was able to do it. But like, I don't have enough energy. Now you bastard. Anyway, like, before then, though, I had, like, the hardest time fighting stuff. Or, not fighting stuff, but doing those parts. Especially because this one is, like, you've got to keep up on it. It's the same thing I was talking about in one of the... Was it one of the earlier ones of this series? I was talking about Canary Mary in, Banjo-Tooie. I don't remember. I was talking about it at some point. I don't remember when. But it's like Canary Mary, especially in the second time around in Banjo-Tooie, works on such a incredibly tight rubber band effect that it's like you absolutely are gonna like destroy your thumbs trying to like collect everything in the game. So like when I play Banjo-Kazooie, it's possible, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, but it's possible I could, 100% that game. But Banjo-Tooie, if I ever play that one, I don't really think I would. I think that series would go on way too long if I tried to do that. I always have a concern about a series taking too long. Just simply because it's like, it's not really like, you, the audience, getting tired of it so much as it's like me, the player, being like, okay, this is taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. Kind of deal. You know what I mean? So I always get kind of concerned about it. That's one of the things about or like role-playing games that make me concerned, because I'll sit and play a role-playing game and put like 300 hours in it on my own time, but when I make like an actual like video or something about it, I kind of feel a little more self-conscious about the whole ordeal. I don't know, it's weird, it's strange. It feels like I don't want to waste like the time of the people who are watching or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it'd be different if I was streaming. But at least right now, just making like this kind of format of video, it makes me like a bit concerned to, stick around on one series for too long. But I don't know. I that's something that I had always heard before I started making my own content, that like people always were concerned about that, and it was like, I wonder why they're concerned about that, because like me as the audience, I know I don't always sit and watch. I'm not going to lie and say that I always sit and watch every single thing that the people that I watch make content make, because I'm not usually, it's like I'm not always 100% interested in what they're doing, but at the same time, a lot of the people I watch because I like their personality, or I like, the content they put forward. So I do see, we need 3 more, right? I do enjoy, even watching something I'm not personally interested in, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, take that, bitch. At the same time, it's like I'm not, if I'm just not into it, like I'm not gonna watch it, And sometimes I feel guilty about that if it's someone I really enjoy their content with, because I know it's like, well, even though it's one view, it still helps them out. I don't think I don't have to do this like in a specific order. I think I just have to find 3 more. So I always feel strange about skipping stuff of content creators that I like to watch, but but at the same time, it's like, well, I can't watch everything all the time, because I'm not always able to do nothing but watch stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's one of the reasons why I try not to get an astronomically large amount of people to watch. Also, where's that bastard at? I hear it. There it is. There we go. See, do I have to do anything with this? I don't think so, right? No. Like, you know, there's a reason why oh, like, maybe I do have to put these in the right spot then. Oh, I see. It's barely... Well, that could have gone better. I hope there's another one around here somewhere. That's why I usually try to keep my list of people I watch low. It's not because... Oh my god, Fox, why are you throwing it instead of sitting it down? I try to keep my list of people I watch concise because I know there's a lot of great people out there that deserve to be watched. Oh my god. You deserve to be watched and deserve to get, like, that attention and stuff. But, like, at the same time, it's like, well, I feel guilty if I'm, like, subscribed to somebody and I can't watch their stuff or don't watch their stuff. You know what I mean? There we go. Like, I always kind of feel a little guilty if it's like I've got a bunch of that. It's like on Twitter. Like, I can't... Alright, hang on a second. This little bastard's gotta go. Come here, you asshole. Not you, Tricky, the other guy. Where'd he go? But on X, it's like you try to follow somebody and then they like repost. They don't, it's not even that they necessarily comment themselves, but it's like they repost like 1,000,001 things a day. And it's like, well, I can't even see anything else anyone else does. And so it's like, well, I could mute them, but that kind of defeats the purpose of following them. But then at the same time, it's like I can unfollow them, but I kind of want to follow them because, you know, mutual respect or something like that. But it's like, but I can't see what anybody else does because they post 1,000,001 damn things, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, not to do that. If that's your account and you want to do that, fine. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's like, I don't find myself unfollowing someone because I don't agree with an opinion that they had. I find myself unfollowing somebody because it was like I literally can't see what else anyone else is doing anywhere else because my following feed, because I don't usually stay on For You, but my following feed is just like flooded with a bunch of stuff all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I just overthink some of this stuff, and then I feel kind of guilty for, like, you know, like I said, unfollowing or something like that. But, like, where are you at? Tricky, where you at, dude? Maybe I'm just overthinking it, maybe not, I don't know. Tricky, I don't want to go into that trial in case it gets rid of my seed I put down. Where are you at, dude? Alright, Tricky, if I come back out here and that seed's missing, you're not getting dinner. Alright. We gotta go in here and get a test. Gotta do a test, random pop quiz I didn't have enough time to study for. But like I was saying, I don't know, maybe I'm just being overthinking of it, because I just kind of feel like, I don't know, there's something weird about it. Something weird about it. I can't put my finger on it. But I do get why somebody would still follow someone to support them, even if they don't actually get a chance to watch what they do. But I don't know. Like I said, to me, it kind of feels kind of like a tourist behavior, or the behavior of someone who's just like being fake about it. I don't know. It's weird. I try to make time. I try to make time as best I can for everyone I follow to pay attention to what they're doing, and everyone that I watch as a content creator. I try to make time to watch their stuff, which is what's helpful. Like, for an example, if I'm doing like a thumbnail or something like that, like that gives, I've got like some of my thumbnails, though you would look at them and kind of be like, that took this amount of time. Like, some of my thumbnails take like 10 plus hours to do. It's crazy how much time goes into some of those. It's one of the reasons why I'm much more likely to put less effort. Not always, but I'm much more likely to put less effort in a series that's going to last like 2 or 3 videos than one that I know that's going to last, like several. Because it's like, well, it sure is a shame to put like 20 hours into a thumbnail for one video. But then sometimes it's like, it's worth it, because it's like, it's an important video, or it's one of those things where it's like, I had the time to do it. Because if I don't have the time to do it, and I've got to like get it up really quickly, I can't spend 20 hours on it if I only have like 10, you know what I mean? Alright, what do we got going on around here, dude? Test 2, the test of combat. Prove your worth in combat by defeating all the Sharp Claw within time limit. If you succeed, I become yours. To return Krazoa Palace. I keep forgetting that, you don't have to lock on with the L button. It just automatically locks on. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm not, sounding like I'm complaining, because I really do like making my thumbnails and my own assets and stuff. I'm just, trying to be a little honest and straightforward about it. It really is, for an example, Crow Country. I loved that series. Was that it? Oh. I loved that series, and I thought the thumbnail was pretty funny, honestly. And it took, 20 plus hours to do. Oh, well, I'm out of energy. It took, 20 plus hours to do. And, that was, an insane amount of time. You know what I mean? I think the series was, 9, 10 episodes? I can't remember. But, it's just kind of crazy to think about how, in some instances, it takes longer to make the thumbnail than it does to record an entire series. You know? I don't know. There's just something funny about that to me. I guess it's one of those behind-the-scenes content creator things that a lot of audiences have no idea about. And it's one of those things that it's when you hear somebody who has extreme burnout and they're talking about being extremely burnt out, I'm before I kind of understood before because I was yeah, of course, having worked on content and uploaded stuff on the internet years ago, when I would take hours to do something and then nobody would care about it, it would be yeah, of course that sucked. But what's this?
You have proven yourself to be pure of heart. Bring the spirit to Krazoa Palace. I will guide you further when you get there. Come to Krazoa Palace.
Palace, palace, Well, anyway, so yeah, like, you know, I was like, oh yeah, you know, because I've done that before, like something like that before. Um, you know, never really did it super seriously, nor did it ever really go anywhere. Tricky, get your ass over here, you bastard. Um, you know, never really did it anything super serious or, you know, like was never really noteworthy of anything. But like, you know, I would spend a lot of time. I've talked about it on X before. Back in the day, I used to draw every single day for like 6 to 8 hours a day because I wanted to. Oh, it's this cheat token bastard. I don't care about that. I will take this though. I don't remember what the cheat tokens do, but I'm not even going to invest. I've already skipped over so many wells so far. I'm not even interested in investing in it. But there's more fuel cells this way, huh? Oh, how did I miss that? Anyway, so I really wanted to try and make a career in art, but never really had any of the avenues to do it. I'm completely self-taught. Which there are a lot of like self-taught artists that are really good, like Charles Schultz, who made the Peanuts. He's completely self-taught, or he was. And all. But my point is just that, like, you know, I would spend literal hours a day, and I would upload stuff on like Facebook, and I'd upload stuff on DeviantArt. And I had a little bit of a following at a time, but like, it was nothing to write home about. You know what I mean? It was bad, and this was also back during a time when DeviantArt, wasn't just like, okay, so that's where that needs to be. This was like during a time when DeviantArt had like artists on there who were actually really good and were willing to share what they knew. And are you gonna blow up? There we go. Damn. Share what they knew and would share like, you know, lessons and stuff and critique people's work and help them get better for free. Like, they wouldn't even like, you know, they wouldn't be trying to charge commissions for like lessons and stuff like that. Like, they would just actually, you know, out of the kindness of their own heart, I guess, try and help people out. You know what I mean? And I thought that was pretty cool at the time. I think it went backwards. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, this was old DeviantArt. This was not like how a lot of stuff is now on there. I haven't been there for a while, but I know the last time I was there, it was the writing was on the wall. And I was like, this is back before I took my 10-year drawing hiatus. It's one of the reasons why I'm not as good as I used to be, and I'm probably not as good as I could have been if I kept at it. But I took a 10-year hiatus where I did have like, I did doodle here and there and stuff, but I never really drew. And sometimes I had such extreme burnout from trying to like force myself to get, you know, good enough to be in an industry, like something like that, like that I had such a lot of burnout because I would draw and draw and draw for hours and yet like feel like I wasn't making any progress. Oh God. Mainly because of the fact that like I didn't have the right critique. Like, I didn't have anybody to really critique, you know, and could actually like point me in the right direction. Like, the best I had was like I would show it to members of my family and they would always think no matter what I did that it was like amazing, or at least that's what they would say. You know, I don't know like if they always felt that way for real or if it was just like, oh yeah, this is great because it was like, you know, I didn't want to hurt feelings or anything like that. But like I said, I felt like I would hit my head up against a brick wall for hours and hours and hours, slowly chipping away at getting better at something, but not really knowing exactly what direction I needed to go. And that's one of the reasons my style is more of a cartoon style than like, you know, something that could require more skill. Like, you know, I like the anime manga style, but I don't think I'm very good at it, you know, and I couldn't draw a realistic thing. I know if I sat down and maybe spent like some time every day putting aside to trying to work on those styles, because you have to learn those styles. They're not like, it's not something that you just like, because you know how to draw this one thing, you can draw another. But I know that if I put time aside, I would get better at it. But like I said, cartooning to me is, it is very sophisticated when you get into it, but it is ultimately simplistic. Like, you can get away with some stuff that you couldn't get away with in a more realistic format. But I'm going to end the video here. Next time we'll go to the Krazoa Palace. I didn't even realize it was getting this long. But like once I was getting out of the Moon Pass and I saw that it was out, I was like, I might as well go to the Warp Stone. But yeah, so I'm going to end the video here. If you watched the video, I appreciate it. If you made it to this point in the video, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.